You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live. Hello, welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast. My name is Dan Rolinson and I'm joined by an unfamiliar face on the podcast. It's been 7 games since we saw you, James. We beat Fulham the last time you were on, and we've beat Tottenham Hotspur today, another team in white. You're a lucky omen, James. Welcome back.
Yeah, I have to pick my times right in it to get Villa the points at the opportune time. But no, it's good to be back, and especially after another win. Villa look a lot different since from the team that we left off at Fulham, where it was smash and grab. It looked pretty solid, if you don't mind me saying, against Tottenham.
I don't know what was different, what clicked. Obviously, Jack started and we changed the system a little bit with him playing centrally. I don't know whether it's all down to that because he only plays 70 minutes, but much improved against Spurs today.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, it was nice. It was nice to see, I think, the defensive aspect as well, how kind of solid we looked in defence compared to Spurs, who were pretty panicky. I think Chris Coleman, the commentator, pointed it out. That's kind of highlighted by their own goal, how kind of rushed it was and how panicked it was, and how solid Villa looked in defence. But there's so many talking points coming from what seemed like a really routine win for Villa, actually, Dan, which is weird to say after what we've been through.
Where do we start then? Do we welcome back Captain Jack? A good little 70 minutes for him, and plays centrally, which I think people have been wanting to see for quite a while. Pushes El Ghazi and Traore sticking out wide and actually playing games rather than being dropped for Jack coming straight back in. What did you make of Jack first of all? Let's start there.
Well, he's not at his best, is he? He's not the Jack Grealish that we got used to during the first half of the season. But look, Jack Grealish at 70% is still better than most people at 100%, to be fair. So, no, he's getting there. Look, he came off at 72 minutes. He's getting the game time. Unfortunately, the season's run out before he's got back and firing match fit. But it's good to see him start. It's good to see him actually play this season, because I think we were all feeling, hang on, he's not going to come back at all, is he? Well, doing Dean Smith's old little saying in the press conference that he's back in training, he should be back in contention.
Pain-free.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure what the cliches were there, because I kind of tried to stay away from it eventually. But no, it's good to see him start and have such an impact, even when he's not at his best. So, can't wait to see next season when he's staying in a Villa shirt and he's starting every game and he's back at 100% after hopefully a successful Euros.
So you're saying he's not going to Arsenal then?
No, definitely not. I mean, he might look all right in a red and white shirt in the eyes of Arsenal fans, but not, he's Claret and Blue, ain't it, mate? He's not going to go sideways to Arsenal, is it?
Yeah, it's a weird game tonight. There's a few comments coming in saying how different it could have been. We could have scored 4 or 5 goals, really. And you go from the sublime to the pathetic, don't you, with Villa, or the opposite, absolutely rubbish against Palace in a game. You think, should go there. That maybe this is where Emi Martinez gets his clean sheet and breaks the record. And obviously, he's not done that tonight. But you expect us to do all right against Palace. They're pretty ordinary, really. And then you think, Spurs and Chelsea to end the season. This is going to be a poor run for Villa to end the second half of the season. And then you go there and beat Spurs and play well and fully deserve to win as well.
Yeah, I think, in the first few minutes, I was really scared, actually. Main talking point was Nakamba's mistake at all? Courtney Hall's playing the ball out from the back with no option ahead of him. It was a weird ball, and the way that gets kind of intercepted by Spurs, and then all the pressure on Nakamba. Look, he was blindsided a bit. But it's that Villa thing. I think last season, errors leading to goals for Villa was 29 or 30. So we'd given away a fair chunk of goals for our own doing. I think it's probably 13 or 14 now. That's just another one we've added. Look, we're cutting them out, but they're still frustrating when they happen. And that one especially was really annoying, because it was just, the game was just getting started and we'd given Spurs the leg up really easily. So that was pretty Villa, wasn't it?
Production note for you: don't rub this on your beard like you just did. I know you're not used to using these. You don't have a proper microphone, but you're doing this just very annoying.
I'll keep my hands firmly in my pockets then.
Yeah, certainly. And bring back Matt Kendrick. I don't know where he is, actually. Someone just said, where is he? I actually don't know where he is. It's just skiving off.
I've got the Matt Kendrick angle. I think if I do that, that's how Matt comes on, doesn't it? So, yeah, I'll try and be a bit more Matt, shave my head. Stop talking about YPAs or something.
Yeah, let's try and keep it semi-Villa focused for the moment, at least. Talk to me about Tara Mings. He was missing in the last game through injury, and Courtney Horse played centre back. Horse played centre back against tonight, and Conser played at right back, which I don't actually mind. It reminds me of Project Restart when we actually did well as well. But with Mings, there's a period of time when everyone's saying there's a bit of a liability. He's got a mistake in him. Shouldn't be in the side. Blah blah. He doesn't play against Palace, and we miss his organisation. He comes back today, and he's probably played his best performance for a good while. I thought he was immense tonight.
Yeah, Villa's defence was incredible, and Tyrone Mings is always a big part of that. I think the organisation. How many fans are there? 10,000 today. Pretty loud in spots. The booing as well. And there's one voice you can hear above all, and that's Tyrone Mings. When he wasn't there, as good as Ezri Konsa is, as good as Courtney Horse can be, you don't have that organisation. Tyrone Mings, though, as you said, can be the liability aspect is there. But I think that is because he has a lot on his plate when he's in a Villa team. He's looking at everything and he's organising everything. He leads, I think, the Premier League in individual errors, leads to goals and not far behind is Matty Cash. So, if there's one bit of his game he needs to remove, it's those silly errors that, a goal can be completely on his shoulder sometimes. Where we'd be without him, though, is a place I don't really want to think about, if I'm honest, because, with no Tyrone Mings, I think we aren't the same team at all, despite the fact he can be a bit, weird on the ball in the face of goal.
Yeah, I always find that argument strange. So, take away Amy Martinez, we've been in a relegation battle this season. It's like, but take away anyone's player and you'd be struggling. So let's talk about Martinez. Good segue there, if I do say so myself. Hasn't broken that clean sheet record yet, and we'll have to hold out Chelsea on Sunday for him to break that record of currently on 15, 16 gets the record. Some top-class saves again tonight, though. His reflexes, he's unbelievable. He's such a good goalkeeper, and we've said before, I think he's probably Villa's signing of the season. You could argue Watkins maybe, but if he's not in contention for Villa specifically, you've got to say even for the rest of the league, he's up there as one of the best signings.
Yeah, one of the best goalkeepers. I think conversations had, who will come in for him down the line. And you got to be looking at the biggest names of the world for Martinez. He's fantastic. If there's one thing I think he could probably be better at, it's probably being that sweeper keeper, but it doesn't look like Villa's system wants a goalkeeper to do that, kind of run outside their box and claim the ball with their feet and, make their team press higher up. But fantastic. It's just a shame that the chances for him to now break that record of clean sheets at Villa are really, really limited. Of course, one game left against Chelsea. Is it likely that we keep a clean sheet? Who knows? I mean, if we play like we did tonight, we'll have a strong chance of doing that. But, with Martinez, we have a chance of breaking that record, and that's all down to him in that defence. Fantastic goalkeeper. Can't speak highly enough of him. You're a fantastic player of the season, in my eyes.
Yeah.
I know the argument there, if you take him out, what are Villa? I'm very glad we've got him. He's made a massive, massive difference.
What about Nakamba? It's hard to read Nakamba for me because at times I look at him and think he's exactly what Villa need, and he breaks the play up and he gives us a bit of balance there. I think the other midfielders are better when Nakamba plays, and he's going to be behind you. I thought McGinn looked. Well, we'll talk about McGinn in a minute. He looked absolutely back to his best. Obviously, Grealish in there as well, and Nakamba's the one who's dedicated to sit, and that's his role, and he knows what he's got to do. And then he'll get on the ball and make a silly pass or have a silly mistake in him. I think, he's not good enough to be anywhere near this team, really, and I can't quite make my mind up on him. I think that role is what Villa need, having a proper defensive midfielder sat there, but not Marvellous Nakamba next season because he's not quite got the quality to play every game in the Premier League.
Yeah, I guess you saw the best and worst of him today. Look, the mistake, he was pretty blindsided, as I said. But it happened, and he was the player that it happened to. So unfortunate for him. But look, I think he was fantastic after the mistake. I think he rebounded from it really, really well. If there was a person charging down the ball, it was him.
Yeah.
Would that have happened if the mistake had happened? Because I don't know how he didn't seem to start the game in the same manner as he finished it. So full credit to him for kind of growing into it and picking up the responsibility when that mistake fell on him. But yeah, I think defensive midfield is where Villa really need to look at in the summer. Narva's Nakamba has been fantastic in spots, pretty average in others, and poor on the odd occasion. Villa need more consistency there, and they need a stronger name at defensive midfield. But that doesn't mean Nakamba and Luis can't still be a part of this team as depth and rotation options. We saw Luis higher up today, and he looked more exciting up there. So Villa might be spoiled for choice in midfield next season. And how young is Luis? He's got plenty more to give as well. The potential there is incredible. Called up to Brazil as well, so fair play to him.
I love that the comments are pretty much all saying not everybody, but saying he was really good tonight in the camp, and then there's a couple of people saying he was one of our worst players. So he does divide opinion. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. One that probably doesn't divide opinion tonight, John McGinn. That spin. Oh my God, what a player!
I'll tell you
Back
what,
to his best, I think.
He wouldn't be doing it if he didn't have a yellow card. When he gets a yellow card, he's obviously tamed, isn't he? He's like staying away from any sort of contact that could come from him trying to win the ball or him playing with the ball and then leaving one in after. You know, it'd be my instruction now, John McGinn, just keep away from it until you can get find your form in game, because when he gets that yellow card, the caution's there and it really affects his game. John McGinn always runs out of game full-blooded. You want him without the caution. So it was really exciting to see him back to his best today. A few shots as well, kind of like wildly. The way he kind of angles to shoot, we've missed that. I know he didn't hit the target at all today, but he looked a really, really confident player, and that has been missing from him recently. I don't know if the Euros is in. I know he's in the Scotland squad. I don't know if getting the form back is in the back of his mind. But he was more John McGinn today than he has been for most of this season, actually. So nice to see.
I'd have to go back and check, and surprise, I haven't in the haste of a post-match podcast. It feels like every time he scored a goal, the game or two after, he seems to be back. Not that he's a confidence player and he has to score to play well, but he always seems to be better after he scored in the previous game. That's probably one of those weird things that isn't actually true, but I just think it's true in my own head. Someone just gave me a great reminder of another talking point. I've lost it. I'm sure that was from Daniel.
Is it the penalty shout?
Yes. Daniel Wales, he says, can we talk about the pen? How was that not given? I've had Blues fans in my Twitter DMs, my Twitter mentions, saying Watkins was not in control of the ball, so the rules state that it's not a penalty because he wasn't going to get to it. I kind of understand that, to be fair to them. My grievance then is with the rules, that the rules are wrong, because Lloris comes in and wipes Watkins out. And if you did that anywhere else on the pitch, you'd be given a foul for it, whether they had the ball or not. So to say Watkins didn't have possession of the ball, so it's not a foul, seems a bit of a cop-out to me. And ultimately we go on and win the game, so it doesn't really matter. But that could change the game, that Villa don't get that penalty and a chance to score. So how referees don't give it, how VAR doesn't then review it and say, actually, he swiped him out, that's a penalty. I just don't understand that the rules are wrong.
For me, it felt like a crystal clear penalty, but under VAR and the rules of the game, what is a clear-cut penalty these days? I get the argument that he didn't have the ball, wasn't in control. I think Chris Coleman said Lloris was withdrawing from the challenge. Whatever, man. For me, it felt like he disrupted Watkins. It's a foul in the if the ball was going out for a throw-in and Tanganga took Grealish out like that, it's a foul. It's a free kick, isn't it? So why isn't it a penalty? Look, it didn't matter at the end of the day, but there's plenty of scenarios where Aston Villa could have benefited from a penalty like that, chiefly being 1-0 down to Spurs away from home. So, why not? I felt like it was a penalty. I can see why it wasn't given. It's still annoying that there was no conversation about it, and with VAR being so quick to intervene in every situation and not being there, that's a frustration for me as well.
Yeah, I imagine they looked at it and just went, the ball's going out of play, he's not got control, we move on and carry on with the game. But to me, that's the rules being wrong, not the application of VAR or the referee making a mistake. It's just, the rules are weird. Chukwuemeka and Philogene Badice, two of the worst names for a commentator, to try and get those right. I think the commentator did get one of them wrong. I think he said Bidace. But I've heard Ash say it a few times on the podcast. I was like, I know, this is easy for me. Difficult to spell, that's another matter, but we'll move on. They look good, to be fair. They only had 5, 6, 7 minutes between them, but I saw a lot of the comments when we were live saying, we've been persisting with Barkley this whole time. We've got Chukwuemeka on the bench, who's the future. He should have been playing him this whole time, and it's a very different thing to be playing in. Not that we'd won the game at that point, but we were winning. But still, chuck him in for 10 minutes away from home, and it's only 2-1 at Spurs, isn't it wasn't like we were winning 5 or 6-0. So it was still a pressurised situation, but ultimately a nothing game compared to chucking him in 15 games ago, for example. But yeah, they look good, don't they? They look comfortable, and there'll be a lot of people saying hopefully they'll get some minutes against Chelsea on Sunday, but the Youth Cup final is the Monday, so very, very unlikely they'll feature on Sunday. But stranger things have happened.
Chukwuemeka, he looked apprehensive for all of 10 seconds. He was fantastic, for the brief moments we saw him, but he was very lively in a high pressure situation as well. I thought we was going to bring the experienced head in. I thought we was going to bring Barkley on, to be fair, and to see Chukwuemeka then Philogene Badice come on was wild. There's no other way to put it. But look, fully deserved. They've had to bide their time. I think in the live version of this, when I was trying to wing it before I got kicked out, someone said, bring on Louis Barry for a dead rubber. That's not how Villa do things. They treat these, and I know we've been playing Ross Barkley, he has been, turning up and whatnot, but they treat these positions with prestige. You don't just get one just because. You have to wait your time. And, what does it say to El Ghazi, Traore, Watkins if Louis Barry just suddenly starts? You know what I mean? If Louis Barry is to start and be involved in the first team setup, it's going to be similar to Jacob Ramsey, Chukwuemeka, and Philogene Bidet. So you're going to have to wait your turn. Calling it a dead rubber and just giving them the position takes away the importance of those positions in the first team, if you get what I mean. But no, look, they come on and they had a point to prove, and they proved it. Philogene Bidet on the wing and Chukwuemeka kind of driving up, but they had chemistry. They kind of gravitated to the same side. And
you can tell they've played together and played well before.
Yeah, and it was weird seeing kind of Esri Konza like join the little triangle they had, because he's the elder statesman of the group, and he's like one of our younger players. So no, look, it's amazing. And when Chukwuemeka took the shot, I thought, dream debut, innit? And look, I know it didn't go in, but it may as well have done in my eyes. Fantastic. I mean, he's got to want the goal, but may as well have done.
There's been a lot of talk about like throwing them in and blooding the youngsters, nothing to play for, just chuck them in. And I've said, and many other people have said, like I said, I've said it a few times on this podcast, that it's different to being successful in under-18s football as a youngster, 17-year-old, to then be thrown in and playing Premier League games. It's a very different thing. Physically, they're very different. And then they come on today and they do look comfortable in the last 5-10 minutes. So am I wrong in saying it's different between under-18s football and the Premier League, or is it just that they are that good and they are ready?
It probably doesn't set the best kind of pathway, does it, as well? If someone has a good few games, you chuck them in. But look, they've had an amazing season at youth level. Chukwuemeka is just, he's another level. Watching him play against, West Brom and Newcastle in the FA Youth Cup, they just can't lay a glove on him, to be honest. Same goes, to be fair, for a lot for Louis Barry and Brad Young as well. Chukwuemeka has been different class, so his time has been coming. Villa's midfield, it has been a bit congested, not because of the quality available, but just because of the numbers there. Ross Barkley, you've had to beat John McGinn. You'll have to beat Douglas Luiz, Marvelous Lakamba, Jacob Ramsey as well. A first team member. So look, there's a queue, but I think the time, I didn't think it was the right situation to put him in as well. And Dean Smith just dropped him straight in there, which is, is promising. But look, Villa have their way of doing things. They have a pathway. Dean Smith's made it clear that Chukwuemeka has a pathway at the club, and they have to follow that to the T. They can't just, give him a start as a treat. It's done professionally, and I would have liked to see him earlier. Yeah, I would have liked to see him months ago, but he's only going to start more and more games now, or appear in more and more games. So it's only a positive thing.
Fans back at stadiums was nice to see, even though it wasn't Villa Park, but we will see thousands of Villa fans at Villa Park on Sunday. Are you lucky enough to be in the ballot? Did you get a ticket?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. But look, I'm really pleased for the people who are going. But to me, Villa Park isn't Villa Park unless it's got that full crowd. So hopefully that can return soon.
I would still like to go. I'm hoping that Matt might just message me like, I've got a ticket here out of nowhere. Do you want to go? But it's not happened so far, so I'm not holding out any hopes for that. I think I said it on one of our might have been after the Palace defeat or after another defeat. I thought, well, when fans go back, can we be nice about it? Can we not throw the players under the bus? It's going to be the last game of the season. If things go wrong, can we not be idiots, basically? And that's what I felt what Spurs were like this afternoon. I know everyone's got their own gripes with their club and the news about Harry Kane leaving and all the rest of it. Booing them off at half time. You've not been to a game for over a year. You're booing off your players at half time and full time. Like if Villa are losing against Chelsea at Villa Park on Sunday, don't boo them off.
The context is different. Look, Spurs, there's Super League stuff. You've had Daniel Levy kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
You had him lay a dig at Mourinho in a statement today, and he's the man who hired him. So it's just a bizarre club. Bizarrely run club, sorry. But with Villa, I don't think that happens on the final day. When we were in our direst situation on the final day, when we were being relegated and we drew against Newcastle, it was a party atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't expect Villa fans to do that. I'm just saying, I was wary of it. As soon as Spurs started booing, I was like, oh God, if this was Villa fans doing that, I'd be embarrassed for them, because I am for any club. I know everyone's got their own circumstances, but surely you savour the moment of being back in the stadium rather than booing. Just get behind him. You're pushing on for Europe still.
look, everyone, I'm not going to be the fan police here, but everyone has a right to do whatever they want within reason at a stadium. But I think from the games I've seen with fans back, and that goes to the, the championship playoff semis in the week, there's been a fair few people who haven't looked like they're enjoying themselves, which is a shame because I think, it is to be attending these games is a massive privilege. When I had to report on Villa, it wasn't lost on me that there was nobody at the stadium. We don't know what will happen with the pandemic or whatever occurs with the tiers and lockdowns again. So, you have to take your shot at these games. You don't know if it's going to be the last Villa game you attend because things happen or situations occur. So, enjoy. Make sure Villa's the one club that's really seems to be enjoying it, no matter the scoreline.
Yeah, I suppose the flip side of that argument is that for the fans that went there and booed, they're thinking, if this is my only time to make my point, I've got to go there and boo and make my point. So, yeah, exactly. The final thing to end on is Villa know where they're going to finish the season now. We can flash it up on screen. 11th place for Villa, 52 points so far. Leeds ahead of us on 56, so we can't catch them. And Wolves losing today against Everton are on 45, so they can't catch us. So that's 11th place for Villa then. Pretty, it's not exactly mid-table. We won't see us in the top half, which is a slight annoyance not to be 10th. And I know that we're going to have a lot of stuff from Leeds fans saying, I've come up first season, finished above you, blah, blah, blah. There was a period of time when we probably should have finished above Leeds and Arsenal and been 9th or 8th there if we had Jack Grealish and not dropped off, blah, blah, blah. We all know how the season's gone towards the end. But I said this on Twitter the other day. Obviously, the second half has been disappointing, and as fans, we're not going to forget that. But when we look back on this in a few years' time, it will have Villa down as having their best points total for over 10 years and coming back up and consolidating in the Premier League and finishing 11th. How the season actually went, no one will really remember that in a few years' time. And an 11th place finish in the Premier League after struggling last season and being in the Championship 2-3 seasons ago. It's a good sign of progress, isn't it? Are you happy with finishing 11th?
Yeah, I think everyone's fed up of hearing about progress, this and that, but Villa's is kind of undeniable. If we had to make the same leap next season, on the last day of the season, what's our kind of worst case scenario going to be? Last season, it was relegation. This season, possibly Wolves could overtake you. You finish 12th. Next season, hopefully, it's us talking about, I can't believe we've only finished in the Europa Conference League places. I wish we finished in the Europa League places, actual. But look, fans are every right to have their frustration. There was a period, there has been some dire streaks at this football club, and it is that we've got a history of it now. What would you rather? Do we want to be up and down each week and show that mid-table form, in real time, or do we want the highs and then the low? It's a hard choice for me, to be honest.
That's actually a very good point. I'd not thought about it like that. If you were winning, losing, you'd probably think, it was a pretty average season. It was weird. But to be so good and then so bad, it's made that first half slightly more frustrating because we know what Villa could have achieved this season. But that's just sport, isn't it? You don't have consistently brilliant seasons unless you're a Man City or somebody like that, where you're just relentless.
What mid-table team really finishes there in style would be my thing, unless you'd have had to be in the relegation places all season to finish mid-table in style. So for me, it is a tough one. You get the frustration, you get the annoyance at the streets, but look, we could have had it one way or another. What team has performed to Villa standards all season? I think maybe Man City. Really, if you want the team that has carried that performance across the entire season, there's only been one. Okay, it's been an odd season anyway. If you talk, look, Liverpool could finish 4th in really ugly fashion. Spurs could qualify for Europe in really ugly fashion. There's not a few teams that have kind of landed, stuck the landing, so to speak. So Villa are just one of those, and hopefully the break does us good. It was a quick turnaround. We benefited from that massively. It looked like our lockdown form kind of just upped and upped when we came into the new season. So hopefully this break is the flip side and does us some good, and we can get away, refresh, spend some money, come back stronger, because this Villa team has shown nothing but progress since we've, me and you have been covering them.
Thank you very much for watching the Claret Blue podcast. Apologies for the technical difficulties for those that watch along live. For the people that are watching this on YouTube, I'll get this out tonight, Wednesday evening. For those of you that are watching this after the fact, hopefully you haven't even noticed any technical difficulties and we've got away with it. But apologies to those that saw the car crash on Facebook Live. We'll be back again on Sunday for the last game of the Premier League season. A whole season without going to Villa Park will be completed. I can't believe it's actually flown by, really, when you think about it. Villa finishing mid-table, plenty to talk about still. Then they'll have transfer window opening, and I'll be having a bit of a break off work at last. I can't wait to not be working on a weekend, but don't tell Matt Kendrick, my boss, that, otherwise I might be in trouble. James, thanks for joining us. You only show up when we win. Thanks to those that watch this podcast. We'll see you again on Sunday. Thank you very much, and up the Villa. Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.